What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be changing the water pump on a 2006 Dodge Ram truck. But first let me show you, give you a little update on all the other projects we have going on. So if you remember the Mitsubishi Lancer, today's video was going to be about the sanding down the orange peel and getting it ready. But my neighbor called, he had a leaking water pump on his truck, so we're going to jump on that today. But I already sanded it down, got all the orange peel off. We're going to do all the buffing and get it back to a perfect shine, get this car 100%. The only other issue is the AC blows super cold, but after a while it starts getting less and less cool. And I noticed the AC fan's not working. So I ordered a new fan. I thought it might have been the little module right here, but I swapped over the leads and the fan on this side works great after I swap it. So pretty sure it's the fan motor, so we're going to get that changed. So we'll make another video since the fan will be in a few days of changing the fan and then finish waxing the car, getting it back to a shine, buffing it out. So this little car has been great, drives super good. We're going to get it buffed out and then probably list it to sell probably in the next week or two. So we'll get that sold, and then we're going to sell the Denali. So the Denali, I ordered 2 new tires, got those back here. And the reason I had to do that is after I did the front end of the lift on it, I waited too long to do the front end alignment and it just ate those tires down. So I got 2 new tires, and then I'm gonna take the blocker plates off of the EGR because blocker plates is a horrible thing to do. And then whenever you put them on there, it doesn't line up good, and I got a little small boost leak. So I'm gonna take that off and then get this listed to sell. So let's take a look at this Dodge Ram truck. So my neighbor called. We were going to do the videos on the Lancer today and the Duramax. Neighbor called, got a leaking water pump, so we're going to jump on this. And I'm here by myself. Tyler's in Florida, a little vacation before school. So we're gonna get this knocked out, help my neighbor out. So let's get started. So the first step I think what we're gonna do is we'll go ahead and take this reservoir off. I have it draining now. Looks like it's just 2 10mm bolts. And then we have to knock this fan loose. I don't have a wrench big enough to fit on there, so I'll probably have to use a pipe wrench. Then we get the shroud off and this hose, and that should give us enough room to see what we have to do next. All right, I got the reservoir out. Now I'm trying to get this nut loosened up that's on the fan clutch, which is turning out to be pretty tough. So I'm using this, and then you hit it with the hammer, and you can put tension on this tensioner pulley. That way it pulls this belt tight, but that nut is so tight, it's not working. And they make a tool, which I don't have, that I don't know if you can see it, but you put it in these 2 holes and it holds tension on that. But what I did, I had to make my own. I used an eye hook and a bolt, and I'm holding tension on it that way, and I'm gonna knock it loose. And sometimes your bolt is reverse threads, but this one happens to be normal threads. So let's finish taking that off and get it removed. Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to end up buying that tool, but I figured out a way to make one. And this has very fine threads on it, so it takes forever to unscrew. And I'll show you how I made that little tool. All right, the way I did it, I got a little eye hook bolt. So you got holes all the way around this pulley, so I just put 2 in like this, and you're able to hold tension on it. Then you can knock that bolt loose. All right, now we can get the radiator hose off. I think I'm gonna only take the top off, and I got a bucket down here. And this one's stuck. This hose is stuck on pretty tight. I don't want to pull on it too much right now and rip it since he didn't buy a new one. I'm gonna take this shroud out. It had two 13mm bolts on each side. That'll give me a little more room to work. Let me see if I can twist it maybe. This hose is on tight. Go ahead and get that belt off. And before you take a belt off, it's best to take some pictures. That way you know the routing. Alright, so I know we got to move a few of these idler pulleys to get to some of the bolts. Now we did buy new idler pulleys and a new belt. So I think you only really have to remove one anyway. But we got to remove both since he bought two idler pulleys. All right, making some good progress. I had to take off the bottom radiator hose. I don't know why I thought I didn't have to. Took off the idler tension pulley. Now I need to take off the two hoses that go to the heater core. And then there's just a whole bunch of bolts all the way around, 15mm I think, or 13. And then the water pump should come off. All right, I got the water pump taken apart. There was 10 bolts. I think I got them all. And it's best to keep track of the bolts. You got several different sizes. You got 3 different sizes. So I kind of put them in order, made some notes, because it's kind of hard to remember where the long ones go and all that. All right, we have parts that just came in on FedEx, so let's get this box opened up and see what all we got. All right, let's see. We got a new belt. This is the actual water pump. Water pump. Now this is the idler pulleys. Got 2 of those. It's probably the thermostat. We've got a new tensioner pulley. And what could this be? It's the fan clutch. So the new water pump doesn't come with the housing right here for the thermostat. So we're going to take that off. We'll put the new thermostat in and put that housing on it. And then here's the little gasket we'll put on back. Alright, there's a new thermostat, and it's always best just to make sure you don't have any burrs or any kind of grit down in here. And then after it's cleaned up, stick it in. I clean this surface up real good. Got this housing all tight. If you'll notice on here, we have this little protective ring. We'll leave that on until we get ready to put the fan on, because those threads are so fine, I'd hate to damage them. Got the gasket all in. Looks like it's gonna stay in pretty tight. I thought I might need to put a little silicone in it just to keep it kind of glued in, but I think that's gonna be good. I just had to make sure I don't bump it installing it. So let's put this on. I got this area cleaned up. They had some little piece of gasket and corrosion, so I cleaned this area all up real good. I'm gonna start with this bolt on it because it was kind of hard to get out. Alright, I got the water pump all bolted up. Got the heater core lines, got this bottom radiator hose all back on. Next we could do the tensioner and the 2 idler pulleys. It's best to always lay everything out just to make sure everything matches. Like just make sure everything's the exact sizes, even the right diameter. If it's smaller, it's gonna make your belt a lot looser. So let's get that installed. So far it's coming along pretty good. All right, I got all the tensioner pulleys on. Let's see if we can get this belt on. And it's best to always take pictures. I didn't see sometimes they have a diagram on the hood or on this frame that'll show you how to route it. So it never hurts to take a lot of pictures. This is why it's good to take pictures. I got it all routed. Looks like that's the exact way it goes. And look at all the slack. I looked at my pictures. It actually goes from here to here, then around that. So I would have never figured that out without pictures. So let's get that fixed. All right, now we can put this on. I even label this. I put an R here so I know this goes to the radiator, P to the pump. It just helps so much. You don't have to try to refigure everything out. Especially when you don't do stuff like this all the time. All right, now I'm gonna put the fan blades on the clutch, and I try to do this with my ratchet, but you gotta hold these fan blades, and I'm worried I was gonna bend it. I think the best way is just use an impact, just to break it loose. I don't know if this goes a certain way or not. I don't really see where it matters. The only thing is you have 2 blades real close together, and these 3 are spaced out evenly. Nothing's really, don't look like it really matters. Tell you, it's gonna suck if put all this back together and you got a little small leak. Have to take it all back apart. Alright, next we got to put the fan shroud in before we put the actual fan in. Alright, now we can try to fish this fan back through. I wish you could put this on before the shroud. And don't forget to remove this plastic piece. Hopefully it's the right one with the right threads. Yeah, it looks like it's right. Get this wrench.
I think the best way to tighten it, I'm gonna put some tension on this tension pulley. And that should be good. Now we can put some radiator fluid in it. All right, now I'm refilling it with some antifreeze. Yeah, I completely forgot all this. After I finish working on something, I usually got enough parts to build another vehicle. I just happened to look over there and saw that. It's best to use one of these since we drain so much, drain the heater core and all that, so we'll have to crank it up. Put the heater on high, let it circulate through the heater core, and that way to get all the air pockets out. All right, I got it full of water and antifreeze, and I got a level to about right here. That should give us enough pressure to help push it through. Cut the AC off, roll up the door, and crank up the truck. All right, we got the truck running. Getting some bubbles out of here every once in a while. Everything sounds good. Fan spinning. Let's see if we got any heat blowing. It's gonna take a little while. No, it's still cold. We gotta let that thermostat open up. So it may take a few minutes. I think we got success. We don't have any leaks. Everything's starting to heat up nice. We got a good stable temperature in here. That's the bottom right one. And we got heat coming out of the heater. It looks like all the air is purged out and it's doing good. I'll call this a success. I do think I'm gonna clean this cable for him. That's gonna be a problem. That one's good. I'm gonna get that one cleaned up. If you watched all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. If you like this kind of video, let me know. I know most of the comments are going, where's Tyler? We want Tyler back. We don't really like you. I understand all that. Tyler's gonna be back in the next video, but my neighbor called, needed help with his truck. So I figured I'd shoot a quick little video on it, give us some content while Tyler's gone. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up. We're gonna be selling 2 vehicles. That's gonna give us a lot of free money to put back into the channel, get some really cool builds. So make sure you subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.